Don't ask. I don't know how I got here. Have you ever heard the phrase, if it's meant to be, it'll be? That's exactly how I felt after I bought the original 2008 Dead Space game. Every time little old me went into GameStop to try and find a new game to play, I always looked at that Dead Space cover. Something was telling me to go get that game. Well, eventually, I get the game. And not only was the Dead Space journey a lot more entertaining than I ever thought it would be, but it taught me a valuable life lesson, and I want to teach that lesson to you all watching this. Let's talk about Dead Space and the lesson it taught me. I was a bit of a different gamer growing up. I never really played gory and violent video games like COD, Mortal Kombat, all that stuff. I was definitely a nerd and always looked for a new Spider-Man game, Transformers game, even SpongeBob game to play. About the only gory game I've played when little was Left 4 Dead, which I'll forever miss. But playing Dead Space was like entering a new room for me. Obviously, the cover photo told me I was in for something gory and scary, but despite having my expectations in the right place, I still wasn't quite ready for what was about to go down. And I don't just mean with the game, but with my entire life. As far as the game goes, my start to it was almost just very clueless. I didn't really know what to think of the first few moments playing the game. I used to always play games where it's fast-paced, kind of family-friendly, and almost cinematic to start. But in Dead Space, it started off slow. It started off with eerie music. A bit of a more mature story. And the gameplay was certainly not what I was used to playing. Instead, I'm with a group of people daring to walk into what already looks like if Universal Halloween Horror Nights took place in space, but it wasn't meant for entertainment. I'm introduced to alien necromorphs tearing off the limbs of my comrades, and now I'm running away in hopes that I don't see my own character get torn apart. No, like, seriously, like, he actually gets torn apart if you die by the necromorphs. It's kind of gory. I start using sci-fi weaponry to give the necromorphs a taste of their own medicine, and to cut off their limbs, thanks to all these bloody writings on the wall telling me what to do, and to leave the ship immediately. Say, that's also interesting. When have I played a game with blood on the wall, the lights flickering on and off, jump scares, and why is the story telling me about a motherfucking religion of these guys? I slowly but surely finished the first Dead Space game, and I feel like I left with almost no thoughts really. I more walked away from that thinking, definitely interesting. Well, anyway, time to find a new game to play. And it wasn't long after I saw at GameStop a poster on the wall for Dead Space 2 coming, and just like the first game, the cover for that game got me interested. I figured, I played the first one, it was pretty good, maybe I should go ahead and get the second game. And once I played the second game, that's when I officially put it together. This franchise is totally BA. The aesthetics of Dead Space 2 is so scary, yet so creative. I mean, come on. We have to go through a necromorph daycare and run away from baby necromorphs? And don't tell me we have to walk through a necromorph church. Yes, a church full of necromorphs in which there's a space religion or whatever of unitology. Like, bro, has this ever been thought of before in the world of entertainment? If it has, it probably isn't as big as Dead Space 2 was. But it's not just the environment. The gameplay I felt improved from the first as well. Floating around in zero gravity was genuinely thrilling, and it made shooting necromorphs in space feel more like you're actually doing so, as opposed to just jumping from wall to wall in the first game. The overall weaponry got stronger, and the necromorphs you face are scarier and challenging. Those f***ers that peek their head out from behind a wall and charge at you? Yeah, scary and creative, but I also hated facing them. Time flies by after completing the second game, and I hear there's a Dead Space 3 coming out. And guess what happens? I go ahead and play the third game. Now, sure, I can agree that the game was a little too easy, and to me, I think it felt the least sci-fi of the three games, considering you're stepping foot most times on a frozen planet rather than on an infested spaceship. But you know what I think Dead Space 3 delivered on over the other games? Action and gameplay. You have to admit, putting together your own gun, mixing and matching it the way you like it, that's gotta get you grinning at least a little bit. And the ability to take cover like you would in real life at least gave the game some realism like you're actually Isaac. Co-op was a cool idea, and while I did sorta just admit it didn't feel as sci-fi as the other two games, that by no stretch of the imagination is me saying that the planet of Tau Volantis wasn't totally BA. For anyone that loved the movie The Thing, you'll probably love this game. I still thought the idea of necromorphs dressed in Arctic attire popping out from under the snow and pushing your way through the freezing cold blizzard was an absolute blast. Now, I could go over the 2023 remake of Dead Space a little bit, but for one thing, I'm still only a little over halfway done with it as I speak. I haven't completed it yet to give away too many thoughts, but another thing is that you guys might be wondering, okay, where's this guy really going with all of this praise towards Dead Space? Well, there's really two overall things I want to point out. One, I'm staying true to what these video essays are meant for, praise and positivity, to change the perspective of media and make the world a better place. And in this video essay, we're focusing on how totally electric and entertaining the world of Dead Space is. For anyone that hasn't played or maybe even heard of Dead Space, I'm hoping this video essay helped grab your interest to at least play the game a little bit. A survival horror game at its finest. It's a game that, when it first came out in 2008, it's been voted to be one of the scariest video games of all time. And for anyone not too interested in playing an oldie, you're in luck, because the 2023 Dead Space remake, I would argue, is even better than the original. Beautiful graphics, good voice acting, it stays true to the original game's gameplay, while also adding in a few things here and there to make the game feel a bit more like you're actually Isaac Clarke floating through space fighting necromorphs. This franchise has made multiple collaborations with other games too, like Fortnite, Battlefield, Skate, and even NBA Jam. And looking at you, Dead by Daylight, to eventually become one of those video games to cross over with Dead Space, I will forever wait on that. But what's the second thing I'm trying to get at? I'm also just here to give Dead Space a big ol' thank you for making me find out what I truly like. I won't get too into it, I promise, but I'm aspiring to be a writer and art director, someone that wants to put together the next big entertainment series that you watch in theaters or on your little screen. But it's very important to even know what kind of stuff you like getting into and creating, and I found out what I like. Sci-fi, neon, aliens. See, I wasn't sure what to make of a violent, gory horror game at first, like I said in the beginning, but I believe playing Dead Space was just the beginning for what made me get into sci-fi and neon aesthetics. Some of my old content, I just straight up admitted I got inspired from Dead Space. There's a movie-length stop-motion animation I made named Ninja Rat 4 Survival to the Summit that I made a couple years back now, or 3. Yeah, clearly the Arctic Mountain and winter apparel was inspired off of Dead Space 3 and Tau Volantis. I even drew Isaac Clarke's face in the background at one point, and the idea of having two characters walking through the snow to complete their mission was inspired off of Isaac Clarke and John Carver walking through the snow and completing their mission. And like I promised, I won't get too into it, the focus is on Dead Space, but I seem to always be drawing and creating sci-fi, colorful, and neon-looking characters and settings in whatever I make. But it's not just things that I create though. I seem to be known as the alien guy or sci-fi guy when I'm with my family discussing our favorite genres of entertainment, or when we play video games together and we all need to choose our own characters to play as. I seem to always play as the cyborgs or aliens and colorful neon characters, cause again, Dead Space sure got me into that stuff. And this is sort of off topic, but I just wanted to clarify. I'm also biased towards Dead Space because the voice actor for Isaac Clarke, Gunnar Wright, is from Eustis, Florida. And I'm from Eustis, Florida, so I maybe sorta also support him and his character because that's just so ironic and cool, but that's also a perfect way to conclude this video essay. To conclude this video essay, I'll end it off by saying that you need to listen to your own intuition. It's always right. I knew there was something about looking at that video game cover that would change my life forever, and it did. Whatever you may be looking at, thinking about, talking about, etc., I assure you there's something there. Maybe you should give this person a chance to be in your life. Maybe you should give music lessons a go. Maybe you should move to California. And once you give whatever it is that's speaking to you a chance, not only could this person be your lucky charm, or maybe you finally found a job you love and whatnot, but you might find that the puzzle pieces around your life will be solved as well. You gave music class a go, and you love it. You specifically wanted to make some pop music, and it's fun and all, but the more you explore the music industry and hang out with other musicians, you start to realize that country music also looks fun to make. So you make your music a bit of country and pop. I don't know, you get the idea. Give life a try and expand upon your interest. And I'm also gonna say, thank you, Dead Space, for changing my life in many good ways and continuing to be a big part of my life today. You helped put the puzzle pieces together in my life and made me feel truly whole again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, then maybe you'll enjoy listening to me praise a horror movie villain, or maybe you want to get out of the world of horror and listen to me praise 2 anime characters, or you want to get out of the world of animation and listen to me praise an NFL sports team. Anyway, I post monthly video essays in hopes to change the perspective of media and to start spreading more praise and positivity. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss another monthly video essay. Remember, give life a chance, and you never know. Whatever it is that's speaking to you internally could make you feel whole again.